Monte was my first boss at Ozark. Back in 2013, he hired me to be the RD in Strong Hall and right away became a mentor and friend. He helped me acclimate to the incredibly meaningful and demanding ministry of residence director. From my front row seat, I watched him care for and lead the team of RDs, investing in each of us and helping us invest in the students within our dorms. Monte, with your retirement on the horizon, you demonstrated your characteristic, remarkable humility, voluntarily stepped back from your role as vice president, and recommended that I step into the role you were vacating. Since that day, you have been my biggest advocate and cheerleader. You have prayed for me, answered a steady stream of rookie questions, thoughtfully helped me navigate difficult situations, and I can't possibly stress this enough, at every possible turn, spoken words of affirmation for the job I was doing, the job that you had done for the past 20 plus years. I can't tell you how much that has meant to me. Your class, your wisdom and maturity, your tireless attention to detail, and your deep, deep conviction for grace-filled, redemption-focused discipline have blessed this community for 2 decades. You consistently step into the most difficult situations and handle them with grace, compassion, and humility. I've seen you pray deeply for students and cry over hard decisions that had to be made. Your heart has not become jaded or hardened, but has grown softer and more loving towards the Ozark students you have served so well. I'm so thankful for your servant leadership, your consistent humility, and the genuine support and friendship you have shown me over the years. I will miss you, and Ozark won't be the same without you.
Monte, our families go back quite a ways. When Chris and I moved to the Joplin area because OCC had hired him to be the athletic director and men's basketball coach, I interviewed with you after applying to work in the student life department, since you were the then Vice President of Student Life and Dean of Students. You and OCC gave me a shot at being an administrative assistant in your department. Oh, I had to learn so much. I hadn't even attended OCC. I remembered you were patient and encouraging. And as I watched you work with students, you were always respectful and compassionate with the students, even when discipline was in order. I know the students and some of the faculty don't get to see this often, but you have a great sense of humor. I remember our staff in the student life department laughed often, even when circumstances got pretty dicey. You're very witty and have that dry humor. As our campus needs changed, improvements in the area of security were needed, and you were willing to step into that role. Thank you. You've worked diligently educating and training our OCC family to use those skills to protect ourselves better. Thank you for loving and caring for the OCC family so deeply all these years. Blessings to you and your family in the next season of your lives.
I've probably eaten 1,000 hamburgers with Monte Shoemake. You see, Monte and I both started working at Ozark over 20 years ago, and we've gone to lunch almost every Tuesday. During that time, I've learned a lot about Monte. On his very first trip to Joplin from Oregon, Monte was on a Greyhound bus for 3 days, kind of like the Oregon Trail in reverse, though a covered wagon may have been faster. Monte's very handy and can fix anything. Monte's the only person who graduated from Ozark, had a fruitful preaching ministry, was an Ozark administrator for over 20 years, and also served on the Ozark Board of Trustees. Monte was the Dean of Students for many years. When students come to Ozark, they agree to be held to a higher standard and a strict code of conduct. And when those students choose not to follow the rules, they're sent to Monte's office. Monte uses redemptive discipline. He wants students to develop good habits while in college so that nothing will hinder their future ministries. Monte and his wife Shawn have been great examples for our family and for thousands of Ozark students. Monte, thank you for faithfully serving the Lord at Ozark for over 20 years. Hopefully, we can still have lunch sometime and eat 1,000 more hamburgers.
Someone said there are 3 kinds of people in the world: sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs. And for 23 years, Monte Shoemake has seen the students of Ozark as his flock, protecting them like a sheepdog from predators. Now, he's done that in at least 3 ways. First, Monte has protected students physically. When Monte was younger, he played on the faculty basketball team, and he was a beast. He fiercely protected the paint. I mean, nobody got past Monty. He was Dikembe Mutombo, only like a white guy with red hair. And Monty brought that same protective instinct to our campus security, overseeing all of our security protocols, personnel, making sure that 1111 North Main here in Joplin was a safe place for students to prepare for ministry. Now, secondly, Monty protected our students doctrinally. Years ago, when Monty was a preacher in Arkansas, he served on Ozark's trustee board, ensuring that OCC stayed doctrinally true, faithful to God's word, physical and doctrinal protection. But one last way, Monty protected our students spiritually. As our longtime dean of students, Monty was the guy called in when students were in crisis. Sometimes unexpected crisis, a student's loved one died, but other times a crisis of the student's own making. They made a bad decision or got caught in a destructive habit. In those moments, Monty was not a sheriff, he was a shepherd. His goal was redemption, not punishment. And with a blend of grace and truth, he stepped in, gently confronted and guided and prayed. And I could tell you story after story of students that Monty rescued from the lion that sought to devour them. Spiritual protection, sheepdog. So, on behalf of Ozark Christian College, thank you, Monte Shoemake. Well done, good and faithful servant.